Lagos has a language problem. In 1936, when my dad was born on Lagos Island, there were about 120,000 people living in the greater Lagos area. When I was born in 69, there were 1.3 million. When my son was born in 96, there were 6 million. Today, there are an estimated 20 million Nigerians living in Lagos. Sit with that for a second. That's not a city that grew. That's a city that exploded. And every system built to manage it, waste included, has been playing catch up ever since. The next generation face all of it at once: climate change, an infrastructure deficit decades in the making, and a technology leap that's arriving faster than the education system can absorb it, threatening our sensibilities with an Olodo uprising, if I'm honest about it. Over 5 years, working alongside some genuinely brilliant kids, mostly out of the University of Lagos, my biggest worry has never been their talent. It's our collective attitude towards the city that feeds us. How do we manage what we've been given sustainably before the bill comes due? To answer that, you have to understand how we got here. The nylon boom. Black bean bags, black nylons if you're in Lagos, feel like they've always been here. They haven't. Cheap plastic manufacturing machinery arrived in Nigeria in the late 1990s, and lightweight single-use plastic quickly replaced paper and jute. That's the moment the black nylon bag became the default, and the groundwork was laid for everything that followed. Before this, waste collection in Lagos was mostly informal. Metal drums, makeshift baskets, refuse dumped wherever was convenient. In 2007, that changed. The state revamped the Lagos Waste Management Authority, LOMA, and brought private trucking operators, the PSP scheme, into the system, collecting directly from doorsteps. Suddenly, bagging your rubbish wasn't a preference. It was the price of entry for clean, quick collection. Cementing the habit in 2017, the Cleaner Lagos Initiative distributed standardized waste bags to households for free, statewide. That's the moment bagging trash stopped being a practice and became an expectation, a cultural reflex, baked in. The government asked and the people responded. Here's where it gets interesting and a little contradictory. Mandatory covered bins for tenement properties have been strictly enforced since January 2023. Non-compliant properties have been sealed. Households are meant to run a 2-bin system, one for organic and general waste, one for recyclables. The 2-bin policy, organic versus everything else, doesn't come close to reflecting what's actually in a Lagos bin. Here's the number that matters. Plastic makes up roughly 50% of the volume of everything we discard. Paper, glass, metal, and electric waste are their own categories entirely. The everything else bin isn't one material. It's 4 or 5, all contaminating each other the moment they touch. And as of July 2025, Lagos State banned single-use lightweight plastic outright, including the thin black nylon bags under 40 microns that the entire system was built around, asking you to use. So you're required to bag your waste tightly in strong leak-proof bags. You're also restricted from using the exact category of plastic that made those bags cheap and universal in the first place. Nobody has quite squared that circle yet. Here's the thing. Lagos doesn't get enough credit for. It's already pulled off a genuine cultural shift once. 20 million people bagging their own rubbish every single day without being asked twice. That's not nothing. That's a population that has already shown up. Full separation at source isn't a bigger ask than the one we already said yes to. It's a smaller one, sitting right next door. So the real question isn't whether Lagosians will do it. We already know we will. The question is why the state hasn't built the system to let us. Why it hasn't looked at 20 million people and seen an asset instead of a liability. Why it hasn't optimized us for the job we're already halfway doing. Because if you're not paying for the infrastructure, you are the infrastructure. Next time, I'll be talking on how we've already solved this with one material, PET bottles, and what it takes to do the same for everything else headed for a landfill that was never built to hold it. My name is Akintunde Disu. I am an intersectional environmentalist and founder of Right on the Beach, an award-winning environmental project.